Welcome back, friends. Our final matchup of Playday number 4 is about to begin. FAV Gaming versus Cyclops Athlete Gaming. Everybody's gaming in here, and we already made that joke, so we're going to skip ahead to the next part of it. Hello. Welcome back to the desk. I'm Most Medic. Here's Fresh. Here's Ollie. XR Troika. What did you call yourself, XR Troika?
Named after a gun in another FPS title.
Really?
It's probably a political way of putting it, yeah. The Troika.
You can say what...
Good old Gears of War back in the day.
I don't play Gears.
Yeah.
Where did the XR come from?
Xbox Revenge.
Ah.
It's a cool clan.
Is that your clan?
Oh,
Yeah.
was that a clan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, first one back in the day.
There you go. He's a competitor. Is all you need to know. Always watching out. Anyways, on to our teams. Let's start off with Cyclops that are in number 1 position right now, Ollie, but they're looking for more because the competition is really heating up here in APAC North. Only 2 spots for the major.
It certainly is. Cyclops are, well, a lot of eyes are on them in with contention to that either top or second spot. It would be expected for them to make a major. They have a history of appearing at majors in the past. And for me, on paper, this meta should favour Cyclops the most. Realistically, these are the players that are adaptable. These are the guys that will go through. And they were playing this meta before it was cool, before it was in vogue. They were bringing Lion Dokubi. They were doing all of this sort of crazy stuff. And all you've got to do is look across at these statistics. Blackray is a player that has developed somewhat over the last 6 months into more than just an entry and then go and perish player, where he actually gets a little bit more value now.
Yeah.
Plus 28 currently, KD. You don't get that by accident, do you, Jack?
That's plus 28 over 3 play days, by the way. That's absolutely, like, unheard of. If he carries that on, I know we talk about the 100 kill club in terms of, like, EUL, NAL, where those boys have 9 fixtures.
Yeah.
He could hit it in 7, 8. Like,
Which is pretty impressive.
well, 7,
I mean,
not 8, but yeah. I don't know why I said 7.
we're just going to give it an extra play day just to make sure.
Oh, it's just because I love watching CAG that much. I just want to give them an 8th play day.
At this point, why not? Let's just have some more show matches, I guess, with our teams. Some more thoughts in the future. But we move on to FAV on the other side, because it is, when I say the other side of the coin, I mean the complete opposite one, Jack.
FAV is like when you are having a game of heads and tails, but the magicians rigged it so it's always tails, and you keep picking heads because they keep losing. And it's very hard to make a good, positive statement for FAV, except that they've got some talent. They can compete in rounds. But the big issue for me, and the big issue that we've seen across, particularly stage 3, but it came in stage 2, and it's been creeping in over the whole course of the year, has been team play seems to be lacking. And it seems to be lacking to the point where it doesn't seem like they're droning for each other. Doesn't seem like they're sitting on cams for each other, making plays together. The kind of core fundamentals of what an FPS is, never mind Siege, but an FPS game, you want to play as a team. And FAV seem to miss the mark on that. However, the one positive I will say is Light is on an absolute revenge tour. He has been playing exceptionally well. And, you know, it's very similar to when I said about Spear and Mephi being the good thing that comes through. When FAV have good rounds and good moments, Light is at the epicenter of that.
I mean, one of FAV's redeeming qualities is that they did manage to take Fnatic to an overtime last week. So it does show that they have that potential to push a team. You know, we've seen Fnatic pick up a win here today. It was by no means a flawless win. There were a couple of holes in it occasionally. But they've got that sort of flavour, haven't they? They've got that ability, but we just don't always see it executed on.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to look at it here. FAV, you talked about, you know, how the fundamentals are. I mean, really questioning how some things are being set in the team itself. You can't rely on Light, you know, being the shinning light of the team. Anyways, moving on to our map ends. My colleagues really like me.
You're doing the map ban, Spielers. We're not speaking anymore.
I can do a good job of that. Bring him up. I've been practicing this since 2016, right? Siege was before people knew what Siege was. Anyways, Theme Park banned out by FAV, and it'll take us to Border, our map for the series. FAV are starting off on the attack, as Cyclops have picked up the defense. And obviously, it's not a surprise for anybody, because of course I'm going to continue talking about this since you challenged me to it. The Cyclops' strength is adaptability and flexibility. And you give them any map, they're going to be able to do it. But Border even more so, because despite it being a very, I guess, a map stuck in time, if you want to say. There's still many ways to play verticality and destruction to your advantage and be incredibly sneaky on it, which are two things that could play into Cyclops' hands were they on the attack or on the defense, and FAV's got to be playing catch-up the entire time. So FAV not setting the mood and the play style for every single round is going to cost them a lot, because if you let Cyclops just get it all started, they're going to roll all over you, and they will not give you a single second to breathe.
Are we needed anymore?
No, I don't know.
We've just
done ourselves out.
But just because I play the dumb host role doesn't mean that I can't talk about it.
I know. That's why we call you out every time you say I'm a dumb host.
There you go.
You do know about it.
There you go. But I refuse to talk about it. There you go.
Because you're a host.
There you go. I don't want to annoy my colleagues even more than I do currently. Anyways, thank you very much for your input, both of you. That was fantastic analysis. We're going to toss it then to our game because our lobby is ready. So on to our casters. Happen and enjoy.
I just have to say that the analysts missed a very important part here. FAV has only won once since they've had their new logo. In APAC North, yeah. The last one was the last play day of stage 1.
It's been 175 days.
Yeah, it's been a very long time
won
since they have won
a game.
in APAC North. Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes.
And as Demo said, Cyclops for the Invitational.
In Demo's words,
Yeah, Cyclops wins the Invitational.
Cyclops wins the Invitational. Border. What's your thoughts?
Very
Milos is
aggressive.
walking over here now. He's taken over all of that desk. Now he wants to try and take over the car.
You joining in? I mean, we can fit in another microphone, Milos. We can get a third in.
We could just leave.
We could also just leave. You can
Go
do everything.
Have a nap.
You can do the post show all alone as well. He says yes. Goodbye,
He says
everybody.
yes. See you later. Hey, Cyclops versus FAV onto border. I mean, with the sort of mood, the tempo, the timbre, the taste, the tone, and all the tantalizing features of current Cyclops, you gotta expect them to have this game handily.
I mean, okay, the thing is, right, before stage 3 started, we were like, Cyclops, very scary team. You do not know what you're gonna get. They're just throwing like strat roulette on and they'll win from you. That's basically the way they did it. And then we started seeing a very, very methodical Cyclops out of nowhere appear into stage 3. So this is a team that can either play like a stack of golds, but with very good aim.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't mean that like bad, right? But as
I
in
mean,
stack of goals in terms of strategy, where you're like, what are they doing? I have no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
It makes sense for them. Or they've just won the Invitational, as Demo said. It's like anywhere in between. And whatever is the most effective play style against their opponent, that's the one that they will select to go with. I didn't mean golds bad.
Stack of golds.
Okay.
Wow.
In terms of strategy,
Okay.
like dropping the diffuser in
You could have just
spawn,
said ranked stack.
you know?
You didn't even need to say... You didn't have to specify the rank.
Sorry. Okay, maybe they're platinums then.
Nice. Congratulations on the promotion, the ELO rollback. CAG versus FAV. Okay, it's not all the CAG show as much as we sort of go on about it, because FAV are a team that, well, it's just unfortunate when a roster is in this position, and we will talk about this lineup in a second, especially if it sticks. When a roster is in this position where they have not won a single sort of game in APAC North over the past 2 splits at least, their last was the very last Playday of the first splits. It makes things risky. Okay, now we'll talk about that lineup. Blitz, Glaz, Ying, Lion, and then a Thatcher on top.
Yeah. I mean, I did say
You were saying
before,
gold round.
Fav is like, you know what, we'll just take a page out of Cyclops' book. But now Border is a very aggressive map. And I guess that's exactly what Fav wants to double down on here. And we know that Cyclops likes to play a bit funky. Maybe there's going to be a couple of players off-site, which is currently the case. What do? Just rush the site instead. Suddenly you're with 5 people on site. What can they do?
I'm super curious to see how this works out. Are they just going to go for a plant here? I think that they are. They seem like they're going to stack themselves up here, go for a bit of a quick breach, the control of the movement by the E1Ds. There is the single player that's sort of stacked up towards the left of the door. You can see them holding the angle, waiting for the approach. They're going to try and get some of this control there. Will the Aruni be able to do enough to hold off the onslaught? Afro stacked up over on the side. Cyclops is sniffing out for a fight, and well, there they are, now hopped up even higher. Anaton He gets that first. They suddenly lose a lot of the width. They're tucked in. There's the blitz with the blind above. Typhon gets the kill, and suddenly it's flashbang go Shin with the cover in the plant. The Glaz isn't going to be able to get it. Blackray somehow gets the fight, even while blinded. Suzuki with the C4 from underneath, and Cyclops, they clutch in, hold on. They lost that little bit of a sprint at the start. Glaz, the one man who could watch through the smoke, gets caught out now. They're isolated. Yura on the far side of it all. The other remaining player, the Candela carrier of light, is, I believe, upside down repelling on Sandwich. Yep, there they are. Now they're pulling themselves back round, rotating off, and Fav, they went for all or nothing, and now it's kind of nothing.
Very aggressive. Got that kill straight away, then chased someone down towards Beepers. That Nitro Cell just in time. It's like now trying to work together with Yura. They have an idea that someone is indeed in Archives. There's still more players around from Cyclops. It is a 4v2. Flashbangs coming through, will at least blind one of the players. They have the first part of the Archives under control, but they're about to be walking into these many crossfires that have been set up by Cyclops. As soon as this utility is about to get used, that is going to be a crossfire that should be saving them here. Foot gets spotted out, but it's only going to be up to light right now, and there's the crossfire indeed. Gatorada swings in from the back, secures that kill in the round for Cyclops.
They tried to go big, bold, brash, and loud. But Cyclops, they had the quick responses. The C4 from underneath is that pretty much set in denial of that plant. Usually what you'll see in that situation is teams, if they're going for that rush, they'll expect it. They won't plant right in the doorway. Yeah. They'll instead push themselves a little bit further in, inside the smoke on the opposite side, just to bait the C4 into the wrong place. But that also requires the Glaz. In my books, the Glaz is usually best placed on vents, on AC even, to watch over.
You have a bit of a wider view, right? You're not just
you have a wider view,
you
can cut off the rotation. You know, the Blitz getting the first kill as well, and then continuing to charge.
I mean, I understand that, because that's kind of a bit of a shock factor, right?
Like, yeah. You want to get that kill. You know, if someone's blind and they're spraying into you.
The fact that Blackray just gets a hipfire headshot completely blind is criminal.
It's luck, and there's no two ways about that, and that's a sort of bad thing. A couple of tweaks there, and I think FAV for something that maybe holds on a little bit more, maybe even gets the kit down. But that's us with the benefit of this position.
All those nice little outlines, knowing exactly where everybody is right before it starts. It's the beauty of what the viewers have as well. But I have to say, the opening kill from Anaton,
I mean, on the bookcase,
is important as well, because that shuts down vents. That is like an entire dimension of the attack gone, like a whole part of cover that is suddenly fallen. And with that, well, all they can really do is attack from that door, plant in that door, because you don't have any other control.
Ah, well, buckle yourself in. I think the chaos is only just starting. A very different approach this two setups of hard breachers. They've got themselves a Thatcher still. They've got themselves what is a more familiar approach. You want to try and get some control of vertical. You want to see if you can try and force out Anaton and the players here, and that's what Yura's going to do. Drained ahead, over the top and the shoulder. There is the irritants of, I believe, yep, there it is, thrown out. All the way through the top. Makes it awkward to get, and that makes it even awkwarder. Yura caught out by Anaton. Afro, they're going to see if they can try and get the revenge, but they've tucked themselves in. Anaton's ready to hit them hard, but look at the rotate that's coming through into CC itself. They spray themselves through. Blackray wanted to offer some support. Iagator's there as well. They're leaning in, and Iagator finds a kill onto Typhon. On the far opposite side, Light is able to remove the player. Now they can see if they can try and focus in, but losing one on the approach on break means that this Blackray, he swings around, looks in, and leans towards the fight at the approach here. He leans even further, right up towards Sandwich. Wants to get the wider and wider swing here, hoping they think he's playing cautious. That is not how Cyclops play.
Really battling through. Afro has been hit by two different opponents already, literally on a bullet worth of HP, as they've opened up the small box, so they're looking to try and work on the back of that. This drone will be giving away Blackray's position, but instead of falling back, it just goes a bit more aggressive. Deals a shot worth of damage onto Shin before he falls back towards Fountain. And of course, we are playing around the bathroom area, which means that, well, this is still just falling back. This is the side not even under pressure yet.
I mean, that's entirely it, isn't it? There's so much of this that they're trying to force themselves back. Shin takes a huge amount of damage. I'm not entirely sure what to. I think it might have been Gatorada's impact from underneath, as he's now out of that. It roughly lines up, but here with all the battering that's come across them. BlackRay is still looking at retaking territory. Fountain is about to become a lot more narrow. BlackRay, where are you going to go? Tucked in around in the corner, hoping somebody goes for a bit of a hop. 40 seconds, and this pressure of time is steadily ticking more and more away from Fav's favor.
We're still nowhere close to the site, so they really need to start working towards it. But there's 2 players in CCTV break. Like, they just need to take office first, but there's 4 players around there. Shin opens up, finds BlackRay. It is going to be A again that strikes back, though. Knows one is coming through. Quick Ramadash to get out of the way and drop down that hatch is really going to be making life very tough on the FAV players here.
I mean, leaving them 10 seconds only just as the drop back towards the site itself. Shin, they're going to see if they can plant it, but Ayagator, he's washed, cleaned, pressed, and, well, he's very happy with the information coming off of that bulletproof. A nice little peek apart at the end there. Yep. They had all that intel right next to him on the window. They knew where the read in the fight was coming from. Cyclops, 2 rounds.
Very much in control throughout this round as well, taking those fights, being aggressive, and due to the fact that FAV could not instantly capitalize on a player that is all the way alone inside of Armory, they lose so much time. Because BlackRay, I think, perfect example right there, just of the Cyclops playstyle. Continues to battle back in, continues to throw himself back in, doesn't get punished for it, manages to fall back towards Fountain and get into a new conflict over there. You just waste about 1:30 just all alone. And because FAV wanted to stick together, well, that left them in a situation they were in. This time Castle coming out as we are headed towards Workshop and Ventilation. Quickly blocking off one of those doors. Now, doors will be easily taken care of by grenades or Selma or maybe even an impact explosive, say Ash or Sophia. But if they don't, and they do decide to go for the planned a retake, all they need to focus on is just that window. So, you need to be very careful, FAV, for not just going for a blind window hop-in, because that is going to be quite dangerous.
Well, they had an idea of, also taken out, swapped over instead. They want to see if they can try and control the roam, which fair enough, because they really struggle to just get that last little bit of pressure. If they can get a hot ping, they know that obviously BlackRay was doing it, Anaton was doing it as well. They'll take a kill, then move further towards you and into the space. That's a pressure where Jackal can really be at his best, because not only do you have the footprints, you then have the read on the player closer towards you than anything. Here though, Typon, quite quick in, droned ahead. They're looking for the fight. The ping of the player just above the breach, holding on around the bottom of break. The pre-fire comes across. They got one on the window as well. They want to see if they can isolate this and get them before the drop, but they've slipped their way through, and unfortunately no true connection is made.
You're just hoping to go for some wild shots. You might connect, you never know. Let's go to Rada again, just banking back into the fight, doesn't want to leave here, wants to continue playing on that balcony. Now here's the east staircase door to be opened up, so is looking to lean into that one maybe.
Shin takes a bit of damage there. Gatorada, he's going to get droned once again. He tucks himself there on the one solid bit of that wall. He cannot really find himself tucked anywhere else on break because he will very likely get sprayed through, but he does have an escape. But still, just look at this time wasting. Look at this play that Cyclops is doing. They keep leaning back into the drone game and then moving and then rotating and making all of it out of date. But that one is surely there. Suzuki gets a quick response with a C4 from underneath. Doesn't get the player that got the kill, but does at least take one of the wind out of their sails.
And it's still downstairs, Emmy, so 80 seconds left for them to get that top floor control and start working horizontally towards that site to get a plant down. And look at Cyclops, they're still all the way across that top floor. They're not falling back anytime soon. Looking to go for a bit of a flank as soon as they do start opening up that flooring, even though they barely have any utility to do so with. They have a bunch of breaching charges. That is literally all they can use to start opening up on the side. And Cyclops realizes this, and thus they create some extra long angles, because if they do make it into the site, that's fair. We'll just challenge you there.
Oh, do they know? Oh. They don't know. There's one and a drop round, and Cyclops are treating this map like a jungle gym. They are clambering, climbing, and clutching onto all the different angles and then saying, find me now, catch me now. And FAV cannot keep their hands on these players. Cyclops, they're finally pulling somewhat closer towards site. They're finally able to get some of this destruction done on the second story. FAV there, opening up hatches, looking towards angles, taking care of cameras and bits and bobs, but there is a limit on time, 30 seconds. Typon takes the drop and looks towards the site. One of the first times they've really got true taste and eyes on it with some time to spare. Can they find the fight on the far side?
The thing is, though, all these long angles have just been created into the side as well. Light with a very important kill in the middle of the workshop. It opens up an opportunity for them to try and go for the plan, but as Shin digs in deep, that is definitely going to be a known position. It's only up to him now in a 1v3 situation. He's looking to get that plan down, but will not get very far. Blackray shuts him down, but we have to say it's the closest FAV has been so far on trying to get it down in the end. Not instantly taken down by that C4. But again, Cyclops, you said it before, they are very scary on this map. They just play around like they've done so for thousands of hours.
I mean, it
just feels like it's their home.
It's just fun for them. It's just fun for them. And that's the thing, is something that we've always sort of said about this roster is that they play very well when they're having a good time, and they're often having a good time. But this is truly, it's almost Scooby-Doo-esque, that they'll go in one door and appear in a different door and stick their head out, and then, you know, and then they'll disappear, and then they're somewhere else, and then they're behind you, and then it's comic book violence. It's the powers of Bugs Bunny.
And together with the meta that currently really favors Cyclops, they are looking very strong. Double Frostmite setup on the window in the office area. Wondering if that's going to be catching out one, maybe even two players. You never know. They might go for a quick recovery run there. Because we are back on the top floor. We are back on Armory and Archives. Now, last time, they wanted to go for a very quick push with a Blitz and, you know, some Candelas. Back then it was also a Glass. Glass this time has been swapped off. There is still the Blitz. There's still going to be Ying. So I'm wondering if there's going to be another rush attempt here from FAV, or if they are... I think there's something different here. Because it's looking very much like the exact same approach that we've seen before.
Yeah, I guess we'll see if there's a slight difference in the connection. The Nomad is a bit of a change of pace. They've got the hard destruction. They don't have the Lion or the Glass. The removal of the sort of coverage of the smoke might highlight that they maybe want to do a little bit more internal work before they go for the attempt on the plant itself and just sort of limit the space. Throw themselves in and see what happens. Didn't work last time, and well, they might get the stunning realization that the site that they took last time is currently clear. Nomad. There's a bit of an opening here, and they're hoping they can get a strike through it. It's not the most common wall to give yourself an angle through, but Anaton isn't the most common player. The blinds, the smokes, the coverage, and everything as Typon starts to dig in. Blackray suffers a lot of damage. They're inside Sandwich, and, well, they're out of Sandwich. Blackray gets the kill onto one. Anaton has the lockdown on the approach. There's the Blitz, getting the fight there. Swing around Anaton. No! There's a double for the Blitz. They do not have the kit anymore. Shin has gone down. Afro gets a pickup. It's a technical 2 versus 2. Shin's on the floor, and Ayagator, he's knocking on the door. He's looking for the fight on the Blitz itself. Gets them down, sprays through with the Bailiff. Can't get the full connection. Swings onto the other side. The pings are coming through, and it's an impact on a Gatorada. They kept driving and driving for the fight onto CC. The site was theirs, the kit was not.
If I didn't have anxiety before, I definitely got it after that last round. That was intriguing, let's say like that. The rush towards CCTV. First of all, well chosen to shoot out the legs of the Blitz. It is the only thing you can really do at that moment. It's starting to charge at you. But after that with the Bailiff, just opening up the entire wall, basically puts you in such a difficult position as well that we're never going to go for the pickup, really, with the amount of time left. But Cyclops, they win it again, 4-0. Currently in the lead. And they're back towards Bathroom Tellers. Now, the last time we were here, it was a Archives and Armory take from FAV. They looked to push towards that area. However, they were slowed down quite a bit by, back then, Anaton and Blackray, both leading into that fight, taking them down as they enter the Armory. So they need to make sure that they do not lose as much time as they did before from that position. Maybe even go for a completely different take. Just directly attack from the east towards the office. Completely circumvent the players out there. All these long angles, by the way, into Workshop, just to stop them from using that. All on like crouch level as well, so if you're just walking through, just be caught out.
I mean, they know how they like to set up. They like one person to be able to see every single corner of the map from anywhere in the map. Well, Light is almost caught out on the map. The jump out comes around AC. Doesn't quite get the full shebang. Euro on the Ossa. We've seen the Ossa sort of picked and pulled apart a couple of times throughout this. It hasn't really been locked in up until this moment in time. Will that give them a little bit more structure on an approach that has been and can be described as a bit chaotic in the tail end of the take? There's Euro, though. Gets the opener onto Black Ray.
A great first start. And that is definitely something along the lines of being quicker and not wasting as much time. They still need to take the control they want. And again, they are coming in from CC and the Armory side. So there is definitely a lot of work still needing to be done here by FAV. She's just face checking with the talent shields. No drones being used somehow in that area of the map. It's always a bit questionable when that's happening, especially when you still have this many on the board. I believe just one got wasted by Zero Laser Gate.
I've just noticed neither Gatorado or Iagata have died yet, and we're 4 rounds in.
I'll just Cyclops say. Agator is 7 on 0 as well. Reverse James Bond.
Alright. Fav, you've been able to get this early opener. It's the time where the heads get screwed on and you take the head off of Anaton. One gone, one more player removed. The Os is going to see if they can be the push slightly further and further round on the creeping approach. Iagata, he's getting yellow pings here. He's eyeing up the idea of a fight, but look at this Shin. They're sticking the plant down. Nobody's home to take it or stop anything going on with this diffuser. And, well, this has been a bit of a strange round on the side of Cyclops. They went as hands-off as possible, and, well, it's possibly massively cost them here, at least on this round. Gatorado, he's looking for an engagement out of pretty much every way possible. He's not quite able to get it locked in. The Buck is going to give himself a width, and Iagata has the cover. They've got one. But now they've got one back. Euro with a triple kill this round. Fav, they slowed everything down. They found a gap, they exploited it, and played the kit as well. They kept everything safe, cool, calm, and collected, and Cyclops flew too close to the sun and were punished for it.
This is, okay, I'm just going to say, this is also the Cyclops you have. Like, they are very aggressive, they want to take the fights. That means there's almost no one on the site most of the time. And if Fav realizes that, they can abuse that like they just did. You just take control all around it, you get that plan down, and boom, you win the round. It can be that easy against Cyclops in these kind of situations, and especially since everybody's seemingly evacuated the site, looking to fight fights elsewhere. They got a bit bored, possibly. Fav find a round, but they need a lot more than that if they want to be winning here, because, you know, it is an attack side of map, we dare to argue, and they're currently 4-1 behind.
I think it's funny that you can sort of say this is Cyclops. I mean, they started the day in the first spot. If they win this game, they'll be back in first spot anyway. It might just be a temporary not having it. They opened the first 4 rounds, 2 of the players hadn't died. And then they have a round like that, and it's like,
no, that's
yeah,
Cyclops.
This is also Cyclops.
It's kind of the thing, is you cannot even disagree with me, because it's
no, it's just like Cyclops fans know this better than anybody else.
This is Cyclops.
This is Cyclops. This is the roster that you're a fan of here. They have one more chance, Fav, to see if they can try and get a second buffer, a little bit more distance. I mean, 2 before the turn of the half, it's not really what you want in terms of border. You, as I said, you generally want to have a little bit more drive and finesse in your attack, but it's better than nothing, and it's a heck of a lot better than how this game started. Don't worry, Gatorado, you'll get there.
He's hoping.
There you go.
Okay, apparently a bit to the left didn't work out, so just create an extra hole. You never know. Solution. But we're definitely going to be seeing someone getting stuck in there from Cyclops. I think so, because, you know, Gatorado's aware of this. He probably has called it out as well, but everybody who hasn't walked through yet is going to get stuck like Gatorado now is in the middle of that wall.
Yeah, it's a little bait of a play here. The pre-fire's come through, just sees the edge of a nook and tries to make the connection there. Yura, they pulled themselves back. They know that they don't really need to entirely force themselves into that engagement, and that's the thing about the DMR. It just takes one to massively wound and clip. The second will get the pickup, and your gun works better as a bit of a surprise factor, but in a longer firefight that they do not need with a DMR wielder.
For sure. But also, Gatorado falling back instantly, knowing he will be outgunned as soon as it gets into that FMG shooting accurately, knowing where to hit. Through that wall even. Just so many more rounds being sent down range. Not going to be winning that one out, especially not in close quarters. You wanna use that range with that DMR. That's really where it excels at. Some longer range shots, possibly through walls. But either way, an opening has been found down below. It's Light that is currently in customs, looking to find if the drone is spotting out any players so he can profile. Oh, the lineup!
Oh, yeah, the lineup, the first. Gets in the fight there. Typon just gets the end. 2 headshots traded, and it's just one of those moments there where you've got to sort of take it and keep moving. Shin gets the breach above. Iagate is about to find himself in a fight. Does he know? He knows. Yeah, he just saw the tip of the barrel there. I don't know if that was just on our end, but it was apparently on his as well. That's a lead back in. Takes the route onto Beepers. Hopes to draw something. And as you've just gestured, but the people at home cannot see, he has a C4 now.
He does, and he just heard someone came off rappel, finds the Thatcher, and now the C4 could definitely be playing some role if they do spot someone getting back into that site. And that's it as well. Tosses one up, hopes to find one through the wall. A lot of damage done towards Shin, but they still need to go down, Emmy. They still need to go towards the workshop.
They got 2 more C4s as well to utilize here. Shin goes down, dropped on the end of it. The spray through, I said, it's a hefty rifle. 1 more C4 pops, doesn't get the connection. They're a little bit safe where they are right now. The players are back up, but not for very long. There it is, Cyclops. They find their 5th before the turn of the half.
It took them 3 C4s, but eventually did manage to find those kills, and a 5-1 split for Cyclops. They'll be more than happy with that. And now going on to the attack. FAV basically needs to be flawless. They can afford themselves a single mistake to some extent because they want to find a win. And more importantly, they want to find 3 points because they are lacking behind in the overall standings. And Cyclops is like, yeah, your setup?
We like the blitz.
We
like the U. We've got a couple of notes. Our notes are Amaru, who I am assuming is going to hit sandwich window, potentially.
Maybe even a hatch.
Or even a hatch, yeah. So small box hatch could be a decisive factor. They could also obviously hit the site hatch as well. You know, we like the parts. They've swapped the Nomad off. The Lion's also now swapped as well for the Thatcher.
Yeah, just to take care of ADSs potentially, you know. I doubt they're going to go for any breaches, so...
Can't be ADSs.
No, there's no ADSs, but maybe they think that, you know, is just get that EMP out so nothing is going to be stopping our utility going through.
I think they're 10 to 1 now.
Only Yura's abilities are going to be affected by the EPs. Oh, going back to the line, so probably have figured that out.
Between Gatorada and Iagata, they're 15 to 2.
Attackers are heading out to the future.
Yeah. Alligator having a really good game, 10-on-1. Black Ray had it last week. They're just trying to, you know...
Those 2 players have more kills than all of FAV put together. 14 is on FAV.
It's not a lot when you're 6 rounds in.
I mean, it just sort of shows how dominant they've been, because that's also, you know, you're still looking at what Anderson, CZC, and Black Gray have almost 14 between the 3 of them as well. It's a twice over situation here, and that makes it so risky, even more so coming onto the attack, where
why is he having his pistol out?
They're going to be locked in. Anderson...
he's just going to back in. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's backing in. The cover comes around. The spray through. He's going to see if he can plant amongst it. The Oryx is on his way over. The blinds come across the board. They pulled away from the smoke. It did a huge bit in stopping the plant. Sandwich window was where the Amaru went and where they went. Dropped out and caught out. They're going to go for a second attempt at the plant. The cover comes through on this one. Another blind, another smoke canister, and a very important kill of the P90. Shin gets 1. The end of Anaton. And those smoke canisters stop that kick going down twice. He tried to stick it the second time. I'm not sure if he was blinded, couldn't find the door, but Iagator now has to try and pad his stats further and further as he is all that's left. An ace situation here. The Buck gets his 2nd, looks for the 3rd, almost gets a connection, but up the bottom stairs. They do not pull off the rush. FAV, they get a 2nd round.
Yeah, it's some notes. Still need some work.
Still need some work. Some work.
Back to the workshop they go. To find out if there is a way to make that one stick. I mean, the smoke canister is perfectly used. That basically stopped that plan from happening, and that is why you want to push on further in towards the site. So if those smoke canisters land in that door, you're not really that bothered about it. But, you know, the smoke canisters on the smoke grenades, I have to say, not the canisters. because there was a lot of smoke going on. Didn't come quite far enough, and the cover wasn't quite on point either to make sure that the support was there to stick such a plan. And the Cyclops, they failed that one, but they still have plenty of rounds to lock off this game. I'm not too worried yet. Once it start getting to 4-5, I think that's when Cyclops fans will start having little panic attacks as well.
Another Cyclops thing.
Yeah, just again, it's so weird to talk about it, but again, it's a team that just has fun and they try funky stuff, as it's called often, and it doesn't always work out.
10 seconds.
All right.
At least they try it.
They do. Fav, you know, if you want to try and pull the precious 3 points off of this fight, it is worth sort of mentioning that if they did, they would jump from 8th up to 6th, I believe, at this point, based on how things have gone before. They would find themselves on 4 points. Reject, who were on 4, would jump up, or have jumped up further and further up the board. So this could be a precious moment to claw some places away from a couple of the teams ahead of them at this moment in pass and find that first win in a very long time in APAC North.
Can't help but think there's going to be a bit of pace here as well from Cyclops. They've opened up quickly. They're basically knocking onto the doors already, but there's some verticality they need to take care of. They're close to the half wall, and as BlackRay finds that very first kill, it is like that falls as the Vigil, so droning no longer should be an issue for the remainder of FAV.
Doesn't quite get the mute jammer tucked onto the door with the whip. The Malusi is watching from above. They have a lockdown and they've lost light. The Vigil caught out on the roam on the far side is going to be the first victim towards BlackRay here on the round. They've got themselves pretty loudly propped up, but here, caught out Yura, rotated background, got revenge onto BlackRay. They were able to find themselves back and towards the top of those eastern stairs. They're expecting maybe a little bit more attention to be paid, but that's sort of a proclamation of we still have the vertical control, Cyclops. You cannot just take the site. Oh, look at this, Galarado. He was almost inside the site. If that had gone the other way, that could have been a very decisive moment.
Went a bit too deep in there. Anaton will shut down Afro. They're still looking to go for a jump in at any given moment, but the hatch is currently still in play. That is what is worrying them here, as Anaton is forced to go a little bit deeper, even more so, as grenades continue popping up above him.
Wow, the kit isn't quite in the sight, and Anaton trades out with Shin, so neither of those two are either. Just misses the end of a player. The default cam gets the catch, the play around and the flash on any person that's on bleepers, but now the 2 versus 1. The rotate round, Yura got Suzu C from the top of the hatch and takes the rotate down, so they have some of the lockdown inside. Aigata has a lot of time. Almost had a freebie fight. He's able to get the end of it. That was almost the big question as to why he was sprinting, but I guess he didn't expect Malusi to be there, and Malusi didn't expect it either. Picked back up the kit. They have the pings on the play. They know the rotate's coming around on the bottom side of the stairs. They're hoping to see if they can lean into the back of the fight. There's the ping, there's the yellow, there's the hold, there's Yura playing Ring Around the Rosies. He's back in, and he wins it out. Yura puts another round into Fav's pocket.
Again, the Nomad sprinting around the corner, though, has to ask some questions there twice almost. Well, once he almost got caught, the other one, time he did. With 3-5. Cyclops, I don't know what that round, weird. You just have 2 people in the middle of the site. One loses the gunfire, the other one trades out. And the rest of Cyclops is just following one by one. It's not like they're taking it by storm. It's like someone gets in, the others are still holding for verticality, not quite able to quite get that connection. I think a simple solution there would have been to open up Armory Wall. If you open up Armory Wall, suddenly there is that pressure on the vertical, so on that top floor. They would have had to at least pay some attention to it, might have not been able to watch the bottom floor as much. It provides you with an opening to go for a plant, and you don't even need to be contesting on that top floor. Just open it up. It's basically enough already. The 3-5, FAV is starting to get back into the game here after they had a very, very rough first half with only 1 round really being able to put some damage onto Cyclops' hands.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 of their rounds have come over the last 4.
Yeah.
They've been able to obviously get a bit of a drive, a bit of control, a little bit of cool and calm. They're dicing with the sort of devil of 3 points. And they still have their attack time out as well. They still have a moment that they can have a conversation here. There's no immediacy towards apparently their fate of this game. They think that they can still put some drive into this. They have a choice to sort of slow things down and just have a conversation, even if just amongst themselves. They're setting the pace. They don't want to offer that to Cyclops, though. The pressure is Cyclops coming across here. Black Grey has some attention onto this. The window, how close are they?
Should soon see the barrel.
Oh, yeah, that forces Shin off. He was sort of eyeing up the idea of that engagement, and then as soon as that first bullet sort of said, I know you're there, said, true.
It's a warning shot. It's,
Yeah.
it's get out of there, or we are going to have a little bit of a fight there. So no one fell. Well, at least Shin fell off the balcony, back down towards the side, but both are still up and running to continue gunning. And as FAV, you know, still holding out on that top floor slightly. Cyclops is looking for opportunities, this looks like. There's a lot of drones, there's people very spread out. I think they're just trying to find a gap in the defense where they can push through from.
They have the pings on the player inside CC Cyclops. They got to try and play into that other side of the game that we started complimenting them on, which is the slower, heftier gameplay style here. They're looking to isolate the FAV players who have otherwise got long angles, and Yura is off the board. They got the opener in the previous round as well, but Yura was the man that clutched out the previous round on the back of it and got that final kill on the end of his 3. There goes Shin. Anderson's able to find one more. Suffers in response. Afro drops from the hatch. Gets himself back into server and rotates around on the other end. iGator was watching it, but you can see that there's another Cyclops body, Gatorada, that's going to go hunting for the rest.
Now he also knows there's going to be 2 opportunities for him to fall back, and as light falls, those opportunities start to dwindle. He's stuck now inside of ventilation, and he's definitely given away his position here. Typon seeming or looking if he can provide some support to his teammate that is currently stuck. They hope to reunite themselves, of course, as it is easier to fight off a 2v4. The entirety of Cyclops seems to be coming from one flank, from the southern flank, looking to head into the site, directly through that wall, and hope there is no lines of sight made.
Do they know where Afro went? Oh, he turns away at the worst possible time. He looks for one. He cannot find the second. Afro's able to get one more. He's rotating his way back down the core of this building on the bottom of the core stairs. Metal, he's spraying through. CAG know where he is. They know they've got the site. They're going to see if they can stick the kit. Black Grey, well, he's going to have the statistic instead. 6-2-3. They now have guaranteed themselves a point. Cyclops have 3 rounds to get all 3.
That round, it was quite weird to see it shape up. You had like players all over the map and like everybody droning themselves in. Suddenly one falls, the second one falls, and the third one falls, all by different players, finding them in different positions. And after that, they just lock it off. Nice and easy. What you said, more that slow and methodical. Just make sure you have those picks, then you start working on closing it out. Use the time you have. If there's still 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, there's no point of you just rushing the side in a 4v2, because that might just lose out the round for you. They did well trying to get the information. Isolating those players, putting themselves in positions where they can challenge if they do get aggressive, and went for the plant when they felt the situation was right for it. And came out with a victory in that round. Needing one more on their attack. Glass repicked in. Lion repicked in. See some heart breach there as well. This might be a similar approach to what we've seen last time, but without the blitz, because the smoke canisters dealt more damage than bullets in that round.
They did, and that was the sort of thing about the trade-off here I talked about when, at the very beginning of this game, when Glaz was around for this sort of hold and push, how good he can be, and the sort of power that he can have, especially out there on AC window. You know, and you're thinking, okay, well, are they going to see if they can play that instead, get the coverage from that bit of width? Light wants to try and find an early fight here. Afro's swinging around inside CC, can see the doors being popped open, hoping that Cyclops is getting a little bit close to the wire. A Gon 6 pops off. They're putting a bit of early pressure down, maybe drawing some focus here. A steady creep through the glass, looking towards Sandwich in the swing round. That shield is going to make things a bit dangerous. A second smoke pops off. They're going to move in behind it. Oh, just misses the head of the player. The E1D pops off on the back, but that is a failed fishing trip.
Hope to find that smoke, of course, and as soon as you do find that header, you do manage to connect. That would have been a huge pick onto the FAV defenses. Now, shields are being taken out as an attack from the east stairs is starting to mount slowly. They want to take control of Break and CC, and it's got to rather find Euro. That's definitely a very tough pick to swallow for Light.
Oh, Light tried to get a bit of revenge there, but caught by the E1D, puts him in a tricky situation, which leads to a trickier death. iGator pushed himself forward around on the side of Break. iGator pushed himself into Afro as well. They're inside and blinded, but they get the kill on Fountain Shin. All that's left of FAV's hope of being able to break the deadlock and at least get themselves here another round closer towards OT, but you're up against the full might of Cyclops. They still have utility. They don't need it. 7-2-3 Cyclops. They take the full 3 points and retake their mantle at the top of APAC North.
Normally we'd see a lot of celebrations, but for them this was just another day at the office, it seems like. They just locked it off. Also, by the way, Susan C was rocking a suppressed Supernova shotgun. Just saw it there.
Yeah.
Didn't really see it get into action too much, but well played by Cyclops. I mean, what can we say about it? It's basically the Cyclops we know, we love to see as well. We've seen both the incredible, but also the troll that comes out every now and then from one of those rounds they played. In the end, 3 points, all that matters. They are continuing on that first place. They are looking to qualify themselves for a major yet again, potentially 5 for the 6 Invitational.
Wow, that is all to be revealed as we find ourselves careening to the end of another APAC North Playday. 3 are left, and also, wait, what's this? Oh, yes, an ad break before we're back with the desk.